When beauty turns into darkness, secrets become weapons, and every smile hides a knife. That's when the storm begins. In these episodes, nothing is as it seems, and every truth revealed is only the beginning of another lie. The story of Beauty and Black. Season 2 has been building like a quiet fire. Episodes 1 to 4 laid down the foundation. Relationships built on fragile trust, promises whispered in the shadows, and choices that looked beautiful on the outside but carried poison within. We watched characters chase dreams, protect secrets, and fight for control. It was like looking at a painting, elegant and calm, but if you leaned closer, you could see the cracks. Now, with episodes 5 to 8, the tone shifts completely. What once seemed steady begins to collapse. The curtain is pulled back, and we realize that beauty is only a mask. Behind it, betrayal lurks and hidden truths begin to surface. The feeling you get watching these episodes is heavy, like standing outside just before a storm. When the air grows thick and the silence feels louder than thunder, episode 5 begins with a sense of unease. Small actions, small glances, small conversations that don't mean much on their own, but together they carry a weight. We feel it in the silence between characters, in the way they pause before answering, in the way their eyes avoid each other. This is the moment the series quietly tells us, get ready. Something big is about to break. By the time we reach episode 6, the break comes. The betrayal scene is not loud, not over the top, but it cuts deep. A character trusted with everything turns out to be hiding something that changes the entire game. What hurts most is not the betrayal itself, but the way it's delivered, calm, almost casual, as if it was inevitable all along. In this moment, the audience feels the same shock as the betrayed character. We're left asking, if even this bond could shatter, who can be trusted now? Episodes 7 and 8 take that wound and twist it further. Characters who once stood together begin to drift apart. Old alliances crumble and new ones form in desperation. The series shows us how betrayal doesn't just hurt the people involved. It spreads like a storm cloud, covering everyone in its path. We start to see characters making decisions not out of love but out of fear. Not because they want to, but because they have no choice. That's when the tension becomes almost unbearable. This introduction isn't just about reminding us of what happened, it's about setting the tone for what's coming. The Beauty in Black is no longer calm, no longer silent. It's restless, stormy, and dangerous. Episodes 5 to 8 don't just move the story forward. They change everything we thought we knew. They remind us that in this world, beauty is never safe and love is never simple. As viewers, we're pulled into a dangerous game where every word carries double meaning and every action can lead to destruction. It's not just a story about characters anymore. It's a mirror of the choices we fear making, the lies we fear hearing, and the betrayals we fear facing. And in that mirror, we start to see ourselves. Episode 5 opens quietly, almost too quietly, like the calm before a storm. There are no loud reveals yet, but the atmosphere itself feels heavy. Every glance, every pause, every unfinished sentence seems to hold something darker underneath. Characters move like they're carrying invisible burdens, and the silence between them says more than their words. In this episode, the first secret finally comes into focus. It's not shouted out, it's whispered, hidden in a conversation that seems innocent at first. But if you're paying attention, you realize that this truth has the power to destroy everything. The brilliance here is how the show doesn't rely on grand gestures. Instead, it plants doubt, and that doubt becomes a seed that will grow into betrayal. By the middle of episode 5, relationships that looked strong start to tremble. We see the first cracks appear, small but impossible to ignore. A promise is broken, not in action but in intent. It's the kind of betrayal that feels worse because it's quiet, the kind you only notice when it's too late. This is when the story begins to transform. What was once a tale about beauty and control begins to reveal itself as something far more dangerous, a tale about survival. Then comes episode 6, the episode that changes everything. If episode 5 was the whisper, episode 6 is the scream. The betrayal here is brutal not because of violence or chaos, but because of how natural it feels. A trusted character, someone we thought was loyal to the end, steps out of the shadows holding the knife, not a real one, but the metaphorical blade of deception. The reveal is cold, delivered almost without emotion, as though betrayal was the only choice left. Watching it feels like the ground being pulled out from under you. And for the character who suffers this betrayal, it's not just about losing trust, it's about losing part of themselves. The fallout spreads quickly. By the end of episode 6, no one is safe. The circle of trust is shattered, and every alliance feels unstable. Suddenly, every character's words sound suspicious. Every smile looks false, and every moment of kindness feels like a trap. That is the genius of this episode. It teaches the audience to trust no one. Episode 7 doesn't slow down. If anything, it sharpens the tension. This episode is all about the consequences. We see alliances collapse in slow motion like walls crumbling stone by stone. Characters who once stood side by side are now standing on opposite ends, separated by fear and suspicion. Decisions are no longer made with love or loyalty. They're made out of desperation. The show becomes a chess game, each move dangerous, each sacrifice costly. In these moments, we see characters reveal their true selves. Some break under the weight of fear, while others rise with a kind of ruthless strength. This is where masks start to fall, and the truth of who they really are begins to shine through. But episode 8 is where the storm finally breaks. Everything that was hinted at before explodes into chaos. The secrets uncovered in episode 5, the betrayal of episode 6, and the broken trust of episode 7 all collide here in one devastating climax. The episode doesn't just end stories, it transforms them. Characters are forced into corners, and the choices they make now are not about what they want, but about what they're willing to sacrifice to survive. Some sacrifice love, some sacrifice friendship, and some sacrifice their humanity. The brilliance of episode 8 lies in its balance between chaos and control. Even in the middle of destruction, there's a kind of beauty, the beauty of watching everything fall apart in perfect rhythm. It leaves you shaken, not because of what happens, but because you realize the story is far from over. If anything, the storm has only just begun. These 4 episodes minus 5, 6, 7, and 8 don't just push the story forward. They reinvent it. They turn a drama about hidden beauty into a haunting tale about survival, betrayal, and the fragile lines between love and hate. Watching them feels like being caught in the eye of a storm, terrifying, breathtaking, and impossible to escape. And by the end, one asterisk in beauty in Black Season 2, episodes 5 to 8. The heart of the story lies not only in what happens, but in what it means. Every scene, every silence, and every choice carries a deeper weight, a hidden message about the fragile nature of trust, the pain of betrayal, and the storm that always waits just beyond the horizon. These episodes are not just about characters, they are about the themes that bind us all to the story. The truths that reflect our own fears and desires. The first and most powerful theme is secrets. Secrets in this series are not small, casual lies. They are living things, growing in the dark, feeding on silence and fear. In episode 5, we see how one secret can act like a spark, hidden at first, almost invisible, but with the power to ignite a fire that spreads through every relationship. What makes the show unique is how it treats secrets not as accidents but as weapons. A secret is not just something hidden, it is something sharpened, prepared, and eventually used against those who least expect it. The symbolism here is clear. The most dangerous enemies are often not the ones standing in front of us, but the ones who smile beside us while holding a truth we cannot see. Closely tied to secrets is the theme of betrayal. Betrayal in these episodes is not painted in broad strokes of anger or revenge. Instead, it comes quietly, like a shadow slipping across the floor. In episode 6, betrayal is shown as a choice born not of hatred, but of survival. This makes it even more devastating. The symbolism reminds us that betrayal is not always about enemies. Sometimes it is about the people we love most, the ones who know us best, the ones who can wound us with the gentlest cut. What's chilling is how the betrayal feels inevitable, as though every step of the story was leading us to this moment. The show reminds us that beauty and loyalty can be illusions, and when they break completely, and then there is the storm. This is more than just a backdrop or a metaphor, it is a character of its own. In episodes 7 and 8, the storm becomes the thread that ties everything together. It represents not just the chaos outside, but the chaos inside each character. When alliances crumble and trust dissolves, it feels like thunder in the distance, building louder with every scene. When characters make desperate choices, it feels like lightning cutting across a dark sky, sudden and unstoppable. The storm is both literal and symbolic. It is the reminder that no matter how carefully we build our walls, no matter how tightly we hold on to control, there will always be forces bigger than us. Ready to tear everything down? Symbolism also runs deep in the character arcs. Each character mirrors a different truth about human nature. One hides behind beauty, hoping it will protect them, only to realize beauty cannot shield them from pain. Another clings to loyalty, only to learn that loyalty is fragile when tested by fear. Another embraces betrayal, believing it will bring freedom, only to discover it chains them tighter than trust ever did. Through these arcs, the show forces us to ask, who would we be, standing in their place? Would we protect the secret? Would we betray for survival? Or would we face the storm head-on, even if it destroyed us? Even the smallest details carry symbolic weight. A broken glass on the floor, reflecting light in sharp fragments, a symbol of trust shattered into pieces that can never be put back together. A door left slightly open, a sign of vulnerability, of secrets waiting to escape. A black dress worn in silence, beauty on the outside, mourning on the inside. These visual choices may seem subtle, but they echo the deeper themes of the story. The brilliance of these episodes lies in how they take universal truths, the pain of betrayal, the burden of secrets, the fear of chaos, and weave them into a story that feels both personal and epic. They remind us that beauty often hides darkness, that love can transform into fear, and that storms, whether outside or within, are impossible to avoid forever. By the end of episode 8, we realize that the storm is not coming. It is already here. And as the rain falls and the thunder roars, one question becomes clear. When everything is washed away, what will remain? Asterisk. By the time the final scene of episode 8 fades to black, the audience is left sitting in silence, not because the story is over, but because it has shifted into something far darker than where it began. The beauty we admired at the start of the season feels hollow now, like a mask that has cracked. Behind that mask, we see the raw truth. This is no longer just a tale about elegance and desire, but about survival, deception, and the cost of choices that can never be undone. Looking back at episodes 5 through 8, what strikes the most is not a single moment, but the weight of all the moments together. The secret uncovered in episode 5 felt like a spark, but when combined with the betrayal of episode 6, the unraveling alliances in episode 7, and the storm of episode 8, we get a chain reaction that cannot be stopped. This progression feels like dominoes falling in slow motion, one piece nudging the next, until suddenly the entire structure collapses. And yet, even in the chaos, there is a strange beauty. The storytelling is not rushed. It breathes, it lingers, it makes us feel every wound and every silence. The brilliance of these episodes lies in how they force the audience to question everything. Who is the true villain here? Is it the one who betrayed or the one who forced the betrayal? Is it the secret keeper or the one who unearthed the secret? Or is the villain the storm itself, that invisible, unstoppable force that pushes everyone into corners they cannot escape? The answer isn't given, and maybe that's the point. The show wants us to wrestle with the same confusion the characters face. It wants us to sit in that discomfort, to feel the weight of choices without easy answers. As for the characters, episodes 5 to 8 transform them beyond recognition. The ones who seem strong now show cracks of weakness. The ones who seemed innocent now reveal darker shades. And the ones who played the game of betrayal do not escape untouched. They carry the scars of their decisions. The symbolism is clear. In a storm, no one walks away clean. Rain soaks everyone. Thunder deafens everyone. And when the lightning strikes, it doesn't ask who deserves it most, but the question that burns brightest at the end of episode 8 is not about the past. It is about the future. The storm has arrived, but storms do not last forever. They pass, They destroy, and they leave behind a silence filled with ruins. So what will rise from those ruins? That is where the story points us next. We are left wondering, who will rebuild from the ashes? Who will take control when everything stable is gone? Who will lose themselves completely in the wreckage? The closing moments of episode 8 are a masterstroke. They don't give us closure. Instead, they hand us uncertainty, the most powerful cliffhanger of all. A single unanswered question, a single unfinished glance, a single breath held too long. That's what keeps the audience awake at night, replaying scenes in their mind, crafting theories, and bracing for the storm's aftermath. It is not just storytelling. It is a trap, one that keeps us hooked, desperate for the next move. And as we prepare for what lies ahead in the next episodes, we cannot help but imagine the possibilities. Will hidden allies rise from the shadows? Will broken bonds be repaired, or will betrayal dig deeper roots? Will the storm clear to reveal peace, or will it only give way to a darker, more devastating wave? The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear. Beauty in Black has crossed the point of no return. This is the storm's promise, that nothing will be the same. The beauty will remain, but it will be darker now, sharper, more dangerous. And the characters, and we as the audience, must face the truth that once betrayal enters the story, it never really leaves. It becomes part of the fabric of everything that follows. So as the curtain falls on episodes 5 to 8, we are left not with answers but with anticipation. A storm has broken, and storms always change the landscape they touch. The only question now is, when the sky clears, who will still be standing and who will be washed away? And maybe, just maybe, the greatest secret of all is that the storm isn't ending. It's only beginning.